Welcome to Superficial Intelligence, and this is episode number 5.
Ooh.
With my guest and sister from another mister.
Definitely.
This is like a Double Mint Twins commercial. Comedian Lana Siebel. Thank you for joining today.
Thanks for having me. This is fun. Your apartment's beautiful. Oh
Thank
my gosh,
you.
gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you. I worked hard. I hate
You
to
could
be
tell.
a braggy
No, you
person.
should. Yeah, this is gorgeous. What a decorator you are. Wow.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you. I mean, I don't know where I got that from. I did have some help from my friends.
Ah, that's nice.
But I learned like how to do some thrift store shopping. Like I hate all the like the art stuff that you would see in those commercial artists. They'd have these commercial artist lots in Texas where I grew up, and it would be like landscapes that were prints, and it's like I don't even know if they were real. I don't even know if a person painted that. So because I went to art school and everything,
Oh, you did?
I wanted to
finding things out already. Oh.
find out a way to, have
Okay, I feel
real
better about
art.
myself now that you went to art school, so you know what you're doing. Because then I think about my apartment, and it doesn't measure up. So I'm glad we're in your apartment.
Oh.
And I'm glad you went to art school.
I don't know. I mean, I guess like art school really served for
decorating your apartment. Yeah,
okay.
that's- yeah.
And making bag cakes that
Oh,
fall
okay.
apart.
Oh, really?
Cake fails.
Well, don't even get me started on. You know what? I'm just not a good homemaker. That's why I think I'm out in seedy bars all the time doing comedy. I think that's a much better role for me.
But you're
Yeah.
married.
That's the thing. People are very surprised. And that's the secret. I will tell you on this podcast right now. If you ever want to get married and have children, or a child in my case, you do everything badly, so then your husband ends up doing that. The cooking, the cleaning, the housework. You just keep mediocre at it, and then they'll get at it. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone.
I mean, my boy, this is your Cardi B.
Yeah.
I don't cook, I don't clean.
I just gotta get this
Let me tell you
as
how
much
I
money
kept
as her,
it that
and then
way.
we just gotta figure out Cardi if you're listening.
Like, I don't cook, I don't clean. Let me tell you how I keep it real. So I love that line. I'm lucky that my boyfriend cleans a lot.
Oh, that's nice.
He helps. He does the laundry, and like he's probably don't make me look like a simp. Sure.
No, he sounds like an awesome man. Yeah.
I was like, is he cleaner because of the military? But he says no, because he was married before. That's why he was like trained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
How's your husband's cooking?
Really good, actually. He makes, so he's Italian American. He makes this incredible sauce. Not often, because it's a 6-hour sauce, but it's very authentic. If he makes it, we have to be out of the kitchen. He's stirring it every 20 minutes, and he's screaming at us to get out of the kitchen. He's in a wife beater. It's like, I don't know. It's just amazing. It's magical.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. Yeah. It's really. That sauce is great. I shouldn't be advertising. Never mind, everybody. Don't listen to this. All the women who are straight, don't.
No. They're not going to come chase
you, my husband. No one, that's us.
But do you make, now you're also Jewish, do you make like any matzo ball soup? Do you cook for the holidays or do anything like that?
Let's be honest. I do cook. My husband and son actually said I'm pretty decent. I am. But if it's like 3 days in a row, by the 4th day, they're like, please, can we just do anything but you're cooking?
Can we order pizza?
Yeah,
Can we get DoorDash?
They have a limit. There's a threshold. And I think by the 3rd or 4th day, if I cook, I'm like, I can't do this. What am I, a housewife? No, I got to go up and do my sets,
How's it going?
It's going well. After, I got to say, during the pandemic, and I understand people who didn't want to do comedy, but I think it was such a good timing for me, which I hate saying this, but I just ended up writing every day, doing the virtual, doing the outdoors, and so last year I started headlining, doing 45 minutes, and now I'm going to be doing an hour, and I'm just
When
really...
is that?
That's going to probably come up in end of September, I think I'm going to be,
What venue?
I think it's going to be like a private venue. So I don't know exactly yet. There's a lot of details working out. But then once I do that, then I think there might be another one in Pennsylvania and all around.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a tour.
Like a little
kind of
tour.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just saying to my therapist how I miss the pandemic days. Like,
I kind of do too. I hate to say it. I don't miss people, getting sick and God forbid dying, but I miss being at home and doing a lot more writing and stand up for weirdly enough reasons.
for me, it was like just this really nice time where you were just grateful for anything that you had.
Yeah.
Like, you were like, there's nothing going on, but you were grateful if you did stand up in an alleyway by a dumpster.
Yeah.
You were you're like, all right, you know, I got up this week. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I tried a new joke and it worked. And there wasn't, for me, like I get a little bit hyper in trying to go, well, am I on the right track? Am I ever doing enough? I should be there. Look, they got JFL, new faces, and how am I like moving along? I'm not going to be a new face at 42. Maybe if I get some Botox or like get that eye lift thing, the fox eye.
I think it was an exciting time. Like we would perform and there would be dogs interrupting us and babies and birds and very mentally ill people. And we would be so happy to like get out there and perform outdoors with a microphone and by a tree. It would be one of the greatest days. Yeah, it was an odd thing that happened.
Did you ever go to one of those? Because we're doing open mics in parks, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I ended up doing one that I like produced, and it was like on a tree bark, and everybody was sitting like on the ground on the mini forest. I don't know. I hope they didn't get bitten up by stuff, but and then it got so popular and it filled up that I did another one. So I did 2 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah, one would be like in the forest part, and the other one would be by a dumpster. So don't mean to brag, but kind of did amazingly well. Some of the people were drug addicts, and they were our audience. So that was fun. They'd fall asleep, but it wasn't personal.
They were nodding out.
It was the heroin. It was fine. Nothing personal.
They were in their own world.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah. They didn't really laugh. But, again, it really humbled you, and you were grateful for everything you got.
Oh, my God.
I'd literally have to move the dumpster away from the, stage area.
Because the rats would come?
Yeah, I was afraid of rats, and it was, like, literally in the middle of the stage area. So we just have to, Again, did really well during the pandemic.
I remember they used to do an open mic at Washington Square Park, and I rarely went to it. And I think one time I went to it, and the Parks Department came by and they wanted to shut it down because you weren't allowed to do any type of performances there without a permit. Yeah. So then 10 minutes later, a group of comics came back with poster boards.
Yes, I remember that.
Were you? And they made fake protest signs.
Yes, I remember that.
Against what? Like eating meat or something?
Yes, because there was a whole protest, I think, and like a lot of vegans were protesting, I think, during that time too, I remember. Yeah. Yeah, there was, I think they were like acting like they were part of that protest, but really they were it was a fun time. It was a very strange.
But the signs were so like off and funny.
Yeah.
Like, don't eat me, eat people.
Yeah.
It was like, and then they legitimately got up with these protest signs so that we could still have the open mic and perform.
I did a lot of those Central Park ones. Like I knew all of Central Park by the end of the pandemic, like East, West, and they would meet. Like it was really hard to find. I don't know if you had that issue. I would just be walking around the park, circling around. Yeah, it was something.
I went to some of them, like in Brooklyn. I know that there was a few that were on the pier that we did some of those too. And then I was gonna try to do an outdoor show, and I ordered an amp from Costco, and then it came and it was like 600 pounds. And it lights up and it has a stand. I'm like, I'm not hauling this everywhere.
Yeah, I had like a $30 one.
Yeah.
That was, it would kind of break every couple of months, so then I get another one, but it was very light. It wasn't the best, but it kind of got the job done.
Batteries in it? It was like a karaoke
There
thing?
was, I think, one with batteries, then one with like a karaoke thing that would vibrate. It was so many things to think about. It was like, because I would do a show there last year in the summer.
Yeah.
And the year before that, I can't even remember. It's all kind of going into one. But we'd have to bark in people. You'd have to make sure the sound system's working. There were sprinklers right in front of the stage area. And there was ambulances going by, a lot of police, the protests. And then there was, a few very mentally ill people. There was one guy, he ended up coming to a lot of shows, actually. He brought it was like a huge stick. It was like a cane, and then he was like walking around, then he sat down, and then he started like to raise up the stick and like kind of like
summon the gods?
Yeah, like summon the gods kind of thing.
So that it would start raining? Like he wanted
Kinda,
like the
that's what we
clouds
thought.
to open up and the lightning to
See,
strike you.
That would be a lot better. That would be a lot safer. He actually, somebody asked him, a comic asked, it ended up that stick symbolized his dead grandmother, Lucy. And then another comic came up and he said, everybody loves Lucy. And I thought that was amazing. He did not appreciate that at all, which made it even funnier. Like he got really angry and there was like a tense moment, but I just think, so glad to be alive after that. And then he came back the next week and the week after that without Lucy. So that was nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like it was. And
He
you
was
actually,
he follows you on social media now.
hopefully not. So I hope not. Maybe I could have asked him. I can't remember. But if you were great, and I think he donated money. There were people who were, not doing well. There was one lady who was, living around there, and I was like, I feel so bad. And my son was like, why do you feel bad? She's not there every week like you are. Like she would put money into my basket. She's like, no, I liked your show and you did such a good job. So it was, and humbling.
Your son is like embarrassed. Is he, how does he feel about, first of all, how old is he?
He's 9.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty amazing. He's very mature. Yeah, he doesn't feel like a 9-year-old. And I think, I'm so shameless about things that he's kind of become less embarrassed. But yeah, luckily he never, I offered actually to take him to see that. He's like, no, it's all right. You do your thing. You go and you do your outdoor. I don't know how, honestly, we did it for so long, every week. I think
Yeah, it was going a long
little
time.
PTSD, yeah, after that. Yeah. Like everything is so much easier after that.
Yeah.
In some way, except, then our expectations,
Your
our minds,
expectations come back, and now
They
you're
do.
like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, I'm not doing enough. Yeah.
my agent isn't booking me
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
So how can I even get out of bed? How can I live with myself?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm really starting
This
to
is
see.
me.
Yeah, no, but I'm the same way. I'm constantly in my head, but I'm starting to see that everybody, no matter what level you are, you can have a million Netflix specials on HBO, and you're still not happy. You're never happy at whatever
satisfied.
level. Yeah, and that voice is just, it's okay to a point, but sometimes it's so invasive that you're like, I need to work now. I need to work on this material, so just get out of the way. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it is.
you have to meditate.
Yeah.
I feel like the only people that probably really are happy are like monks that have nothing. Like
Yeah.
people they're like, hey, like I'm not into possessions.
That's funny.
I don't,
That's interesting,
I'm detached from everything.
Yeah. It's not like they can
This-
express it even if they are not, right? Because they're like supposed to be not talking. Monks
Yeah,
like
silent
silent.
retreat.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone I meant like I've had some people recommend silent retreats to me.
Oh.
Have you ever
No,
have you
that
ever
would be
met anyone
awful.
that's done one or
I can't imagine. No. That sounds like such a punishment to me. I mean, I'm sure my husband would love a silent retreat for me, but I think I would like literally burst. I think I get physical ailments if I had to not complain for a couple of days.
You can't talk
Yeah.
to anyone.
Oh,
But I mean, is that supposed to quiet the chatter in your mind? If
Yeah.
you've done a silent retreat and the results were good, let me know.
yeah, please.
Tell me
Just to be alone with yourself. I could take it to a point, just like my cooking. Like I could take it for a certain amount of hours, but then after a while, it's enough.
You sound like my mom, because I would go visit her and I'd be like, Mom, don't be offended. I don't want to eat your cooking. And she was like, I'm not offended. I only eat it because I have to. I have no choice.
It's true. I know my limitations. It's true. It's good to be self-aware. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the expectations are low, right?
Yeah, expectations have to be low. You can only go higher up after that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's really impressive. Or you could
Exactly.
buy something and plate it.
There you go. That's the best way. I recommend that.
So you're going to Florida. Are you going to Florida this week?
We're going to Miami Tuesday. It was our big vacation. Last time we went a year ago to New Orleans. So this was a big
nice.
summer. Yeah. We were looking forward to it. And all of a sudden I got some kind of infected, I don't know what it was, blister on my face, which I took antibiotics for. Then a few days later, I got something on my feet. It's never ending. So then I'm on a second dose of antibiotics. So again, not to brag. Doing so well.
Was it an ingrown toenail or something?
It was, here's the thing.
People love this.
Here we
I love
go.
it. I'm like,
I could
is
talk about this for
great
3 hours.
information
Yeah.
for the podcast. On episode 2, we talked about Melinda breaking her toe
Oh,
inside
really?
of a high heel, pointed
That's
high
what
heel.
it was. It was a high heel. I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago. I wore the high heels that aggravated it. So I hope.
Were they Steve
I hope
Madden?
it was worth it. They were. What were they? They were clear. They were really nice. They were really nice shoes. They were Aldo.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah. But yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. I don't know if I could wear any shoes now. And flip
What,
flops.
you're in Crocs?
I'm in, well,
You're
no,
in the-
God forbid. Crocs, share, how dare, sorry, no offense, but I would never in Crocs, no. They're sparkly sandals. I don't really own a pair of flip-flops because I find them uncomfortable and not flattering.
They're not
Yeah.
really practical. I feel like
no.
I feel very nervous about having like thong flip-flops
Yeah.
in New York City. Number one, because
Yep.
there's always the potential you could put your foot through too far. The shoe opens up, goes flying, and
Yeah.
then your foot is in a pile of urine because
Yeah.
the whole city is covered in
Exactly.
urine.
No.
It's
I hardly wear sandals, you're right, come to think of it, yeah. I'm
no.
constantly covered up, but the doctor said no sneakers, and I'm very active. I walk like at least 5 or more miles a day, and I run, and honestly, right before we go anywhere, once a year, that's the only time that I'll really push myself, like 2 days before, to really go and do like 3 or 4 mile run. And so now I'm very aggravated. I can't. Again, these are not problems, but
you could
I
do
was
like
really.
some bikes or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure. Or screaming at your family. That could burn some calories. I am very. Yeah, it's just one thing after another.
Do you have
That's-
like a mom
Yeah.
threat that you use a lot?
Mom
Like,
threat.
like
See, I think we're a little bit. How do I say this? I feel like I'm the protagonist in the family. Usually it's the dad,
Yeah.
but I think I'm the one going out to seedy bars and comedy clubs at night, while my family is very patient. So I think somehow they end up being right. They're always the one. I can't be the one threatening. I could scream and shout, but then I'm the one apologizing at the end because they're good. They really are supportive and so good to me. So.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I know. Again, I know my limitations.
You,
Yeah, I know I'm wrong always.
Yeah. You're like,
So,
sorry.
Yeah, I'm the
my
dad in the
bad."
relationship. Yep, I get it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember like my mom was always very threatening.
Yeah.
She would scream a lot, like
Yeah.
crazy. And I feel like that kept me in line because even as an adult, I'm like, I don't want to upset my mom. Like my mom will kill me if I do that.
So funny because my mom would be the one who's wrong. She would be screaming, but it wouldn't be paid attention to because she would be wrong. It wouldn't make sense. So yeah, we'll look into this. All right, something to work on, something to examine.
And we both have like the Jewish mothers too.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's a lot of guilt.
A lot of guilt. I do. The older I get, the more I have an appreciation for her.
Yeah.
She tried. She really tried. I just think she also, like all of them, lived a tough life.
So your mom and dad were born in Ukraine, and you were born in Ukraine.
Ukraine as well. Yeah, I came over when I was 7 from Ukraine. Yeah. So you're looking at a real life refugee, which again I don't look like it. That's part of the stand-up set. We actually went through first we had to go through Austria. And we had to spend about a month there, and we were staying in like refugee camps. And my, material is, I thought we were going to Australia. That's the only reason I agreed to the whole thing. I thought I was going to see some kangaroos.
Koala bears.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be seeing exotic animals. Instead, it was just, the house where Hitler was born. So not as exotic.
So what was happening? Because it's funny, my grandmother had the same story. She was 7 years old and had to leave Germany. And they kind of traveled under assumed names and like escaped from.
So was this during the Holocaust?
Yeah, at the start of World War II.
Wow.
So I was doing a lot of research about it to understand like what it must have been like to kind of see like things restricting and a lot of signs towards, if you're Jewish, you can't own any businesses. If you're a Jewish teacher, you can't teach anymore. If you're a Jewish doctor, you can't practice medicine. And so, slowly these things started happening. What was it like in Ukraine? Because, suppression and kind of discrimination for Jews has just been a constant thing throughout the history of humanity and the religion.
Absolutely. It was still everybody was, kind of oppressed, Jews and Christians, but the Jews it was institutionalized, like I joke about like the passport. It really does say either it says like citizen, like Ukrainian citizen, or it says if you're a Jew, you have to write Jew. So, because you're like a second class. Yeah.
That's
like,
your identifier.
That's what
as
your
race. Instead of being
Jew.
Caucasian, it's
Yeah,
Jew.
I just looked at my passport. I really looked if it's true, and it says like everybody. My mom, Jew. Me, Jew. Like Ivre. It's not even like. I make fun of like it's not even conjugated, but like everybody just says Jew, and like my brother wouldn't be able to get into certain colleges. You couldn't own certain things, like you have to declare everything to the government and give it away. Whatever
for property.
For property, yeah.
Like you can't
Everybody
own
was
a
kind of like that,
car or
but Jews are
apartment
even
or
more.
home.
Yeah, like we got a VCR. My dad was like, "Don't tell anyone," because that could be confiscated. My grandparents, where they grew up and lived, and then my parents moved in with them for first couple of years, that house was kind of taken and demolished because the government just felt like taking it, so they had to move. When we were moving, the part of the KGB, the people who were going to move in, they just came in and looked at the apartment because they were going to take it, not that they were going to pay us anything.
Right.
So it's like the wild, wild west. Yeah, they just seize it. You just seize it. Everybody just does what they want. If you're a little bit in power, and by getting in that power, you pretty much are born into that. So it's a very weird
oligarchy,
KGB, It's a very strange.
And is that? I'm so ignorant.
I'm trying to figure out myself still how
they're Russian.
There definitely
Ukrainian?
can't be Jew. They were Ukrainian. It was so. No, you're not ignorant at all because it's so. This is what a lot of people don't understand, and it's very hard to explain. It was like the Soviet Union. So when I was
Right.
leaving, it was still Ukraine, Russia. It was interchangeable. It was the same thing, and yeah, it's not now. And it's a lot of things in the last 20, 30 years changed a lot. But it was like the Soviet Union. It was very much the Soviet. And I would say to people, yeah, I'm Russian, like I'm Ukrainian, but people didn't really know what Ukraine is. So I just
Right.
said, yeah, I'm Russian. I'm
Right.
Eastern European. It was the same thing back then. And it's still hard for me to understand because then later on, like as soon as we left, the years following, the government forced everyone to speak Ukrainian because I speak Russian. I don't speak Ukrainian. They didn't teach that in school. They didn't mandate. Now it's only Ukrainian, which makes sense because and I stand with
Separated.
Ukraine. Yeah, but it's a weird thing to explain because, again, it was very interchangeable back then. We were the same people. And I live 10 miles from the border of Russia. So it's very sad. It's very sad what's happening and very confusing.
How long
Yeah.
do you think this war is going to play out?
It's just so upsetting to see innocent people dying and people who have no right to be a soldier. You know, to me, it's just disgusting. I hope it just ends already. I don't know. I don't know what else to do or say. It's just so tragic.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the building that I grew up in and lived in was demolished. And my mom's friends, they're still there. They're okay. But yeah, it's very scary. I don't know. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really lucky.
Yeah. Now my parents are like, oh, good we moved. Now they're like, oh, all right.
She's been complaining about New York.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm glad I'm not in
I'm
Ukraine.
exactly. I can't complain. I feel, very lucky to be here, even though we have a lot going on here too. But yeah, and even though the immigration and was not easy, but I was lucky. I was 7. So
Yeah.
a lot of it, I just worked through therapy, numbed out. So I can't.
And now you do comedy.
And now I do come perfect. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So now you can
That
like
works.
talk about it
Exactly.
in a way. Yeah.
It's very relatable. Yeah.
It's you know what is also, I feel like you don't have a sense of it until you really are seeing
Yeah.
what's happening, like some of the images. And I don't
Yeah.
watch a lot of the news. I get my news from like Twitter.
Yeah, I would at the beginning, and then I couldn't kind of stomach it anymore. It was just so, it's just so depressing. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's really because of one person, 2 people, it's not how everybody feels. Yeah. So it's just my heart
So
goes out to everybody. Yeah.
Is Putin,
Yeah.
have they reported anything about his, allegedly he has like some ailing health, or he might be dying, he might be terminally ill?
Could only hope.
Yeah.
You might have to edit this out.
Don't worry. Russian
Have you
bots
heard?
will edit this out.
Okay, good.
They will censor it.
It's
for
still,
us.
the fear never goes away against talking about, even though I'm in America since I was 7,
Yeah.
it's still, you still have fear about people who are in charge, that's still, when you're oppressed, it kind of still stays with you, kind of fight against not feeling that fear. That's why people of Ukraine they really are very brave. These women, with the AK-47s, oh my God. And again, part of my shtick, and I've been talking about this, is even though I look like them, I am not that woman. I am not brave. We ran then and I will run again. So if anything happens in New York, I'm coming to Jersey. Jersey, hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
Dude, we're not safe here either.
Yeah, no, okay, let's go
We
to-
were just talking about that. I'm like, we got to get further away.
Wherever.
Did you
Texas?
see,
How
right, to Texas, right. Did you see the PSA about the threat of nuclear attack
Oh, my
in
God.
New York? Have you seen
no,
that?
I have been so busy with my toe and face, I didn't even, Oh my God.
It was a few weeks ago.
Oh my God.
It was on TikTok or social media. My boyfriend was
Yeah.
like, yeah, did you see this?
Wow.
And it's kind of like an animation. It's a CGI woman
smokes.
like walking on the street. And she's like, don't ask me how or why,
Yeah.
but the big one has happened. This is what you need to know.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, bro, we're not going to survive this.
Oh my God.
We're like 1 mile away from Manhattan.
Oh.
We're just
In like Jersey City, they want, or in New York?
No,
Yeah,
in New York City.
Oh my
I'm
God.
I don't think
Why,
anyone's
who
surviving.
wants to do this? Like, are we talking about Russia doing this, or
Russia, China, who else?
Mm.
Who else could be a threat? North Korea.
that? Wow.
Those are the big ones.
Oh my God. I can't. I'm tired. Please don't.
I mean
That is-
that pretty much would be like the end of the world.
Yeah, that's another thing I've been talking about. Like, I don't know about you, but I was sure we had another planet set up for us at this point. I was sure that there's something going on. Another, like, honestly, I've been training for it. That's why, like, I'm frustrated I can't run, because, like, I've been running a lot so I can escape, those giant sandworms, like in the movie Dune one day.
Oh,
I don't,
so
yeah.
you think that Elon Musk is gonna?
I mean,
No, I mean,
yeah.
it's over for me. Like, I'm gonna be 40. I have diabetes. Like, nobody's rescuing me.
I mean,
Like, good luck, bitch. You're not the prime.
one spaceship
you're not
they
a
could
prime
lend.
survivor.
They can't give us one spaceship to another planet. I mean, I don't know. We're trying to guilt them into. If you're really listening to this, Elon Musk, a spaceship. What's it to you? Just go to Mars or something. I don't know. They got
I'll
things.
lend you my womb.
Yeah. I don't know if you should agree to that.
You have
But-
a kid that it is going to be gifted.
Yeah, that's true. There's a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
On a different planet. Yeah. The landman name.
Yeah, I don't know. Texas is its own planet.
Yeah, I'm
so-
very curious about Texas and when you moved here. So this is now Lana interviewing Cher.
And it's very similar to Ukraine.
Yeah, I can see that. Like Wild Wild West. It is.
It is.
That's
It
why we
is.
always got along.
Yeah, I mean, it is different. Texans are very proud, and I think that we always like to remind people that we can secede from the United States. Like,
That's funny.
we don't forget, we can fly our flag, our state flag, at the same height as the U.S. flag. It's the only state
pretty
that
badass.
has the rights to do that. And even, growing up, you would pledge allegiance to the flag. We pledged allegiance to the Texas flag as well every morning.
A lot of
So
pride.
both of them, very
Yeah.
proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So maybe they'll
interesting.
kind of cut itself off. I think it's getting very, Texas was very homogenized and like very, I guess, conservative and I think like Christian values, where I grew up but like a lot of Mexican American immigrants too. But I just always remember like Jesus and football, and
interesting.
that's really kind of the culture and the vibe there.
Yeah.
But people are a lot more friendly.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
noticed in the South. People really, I feel like New Yorkers get a bad rep because we're very friendly. We just don't have time. We have so much going on, like just living conditions and so many, things to hustle and make money to afford to live here in such terrible conditions
Right.
that we're just exhausted. We're fed up. But if anything happens, we'll care. We just don't have too much time to care.
Yeah.
Or like we don't have the time to like you okay? All right, let's move on.
I mean, it's very difficult, right? Like you're saying, to afford the rent and to live in New York. So I feel like there's always this kind of competitive nature. Like people take things a lot more serious.
They do, because it's their survival, and we're constantly crammed up against each other. So it's just constant, like, I can't take this anymore, and let's move on. Okay, now we got it. Yeah. Now we don't have the luxury of taking a break. So all right, let's go. I just had a breakdown. Nobody watched this, and let's get back to work.
Do you ever order a coffee or an ice cream down south, and you're just like, all right. Come on. Sometime this year. Like there's no one else here. Like what is so difficult?
I think I'd lose it. I don't even know where I'm rushing to sometimes, but I'm so like I got to get to the next thing, and I think I'd have a breakdown if like I had to wait everywhere. I think I'd go crazy. Yeah.
It's different. I was always in a rush to get to New York. I always felt like, Texas is so lame. There's nothing cool happening here. Everything you want is going to be in New York, so all the opportunities will be there. And there are so many opportunities, but now it's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yes.
I'm tired of putting out for all of these. Hey, I'm. Who am I? Let me just be able to afford a house to live in.
Yes. Yeah, the living conditions get so rough, and then after a while, you're like, none of this is worth it. I can't take this anymore. New York is really tough. That's why when I see people who just move here and have only been here for a little while, and they're so excited. I'm like, you'll see.
But they're usually like 20-something.
That's true, yeah.
And at that point in time, I think you can endure it in your 20s because you're like, hey, this is not going to be forever.
Yeah.
I'll get 3 roommates. Yeah. But then, you haven't lived through the experience of what, living with people that you're not related to is like. Yeah. And I have to say, I was a jerk roommate too.
Oh, I'm sure it was just how many people did you have to live with?
Like just another person, but it was a 1-bedroom apartment that we converted. I think anyone living in a 1-bedroom converted to a 2-bedroom where you have like a closet size living kitchen area, sharing 1 bathroom, like you'll kill each other.
Yeah, I mean, even families, we have like a 2-bedroom. It's really more like a true 1-bedroom, but it's converted into like a 2-bedroom. And during the pandemic, that wasn't easy. And somehow we always ended up flopping on each other in one room, just completely on top of each other, no matter what. It's not easy sharing space with anyone. And we learned that during the pandemic. So
I think a lot of people learn that.
Yeah.
So and it's tough.
It is.
You gotta work around that, take some walks. I don't know.
You really do. But then you kind of start to get used to everything being such a fight, where then you just end up making difficulties for yourself for no other reason. And this is what I've learned from them. It's constant struggle. Even when things are like okay, that's when it gets the roughest. When things are kind of calm, then you just create all this stuff for yourself.
Well, that's kind of like... Yeah.
Like you said, the pandemic's done now. And now
households, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe that's like, for me, like identify that as like growing up in an alcoholic household where it's like when there's not any drama, you feel
off.
Like something's
empty.
Off.
Yeah. This is not how normal.
Somebody should be screaming right now. Who's slamming the door and accusing? It feels very uncomfortable because I remember like my parents fought a lot and they were constantly at each other, and then they got divorced, and then all that attention that they directed at each other was focused on me. So I became an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And a drug addict. And then, no, but then seriously, like, I think everyone went and got help. And then there was just this period of just calmness. And I remember feeling so uncomfortable. Like, I couldn't. I'm like, can I like rip something off of the wall? Like, what's you feel like you want to sabotage stuff sometimes. Like,
during
you're
the
going to start
pandemic,
a fight for no reason.
That's what I was working on during the pandemic. I was reading up on all this stuff, and I was really trying to work on just getting out of my own way.
Yeah.
That was because, I would also be so self-destructive for so many years. Like, I had a bunch of eating disorders and just not allowing myself to breathe, and just very invasive. So I really had to really work, and still to this day I have to really work hard to not get in my own way, to just not self-sabotage, because it just feels so not natural when you
I mean, it is hard not to do that. You do have to work not to self-sabotage, because sometimes it feels like I think that's a fear of success thing. Yeah. Definitely. It's like a fear of success that you're having, not a fear of failure, obviously.
No. Because you've been through it.
You fail all the time. We get rejection on a daily basis. But
comedy is one big, oh my God, I don't know. It's rough every night. Things could be worse. Things are rougher, obviously, but it's not where you're constantly like, oh, that was awesome, amazing. You're not in the best circumstances every night.
You never know. I mean, and then forget it. Put yourself online. You're open.
Be kind, everybody.
You're open.
If you don't want to listen, don't listen. Okay.
No, I do need the place.
Okay, well, listen.
Keep listening.
But don't say anything mean, because you'll be ignored.
I'll hide your comments. But if you want to post it in Reddit so it gets more views and more viral hate, I don't know.
This is for the fans, the people,
for
the friends. Yes. People, but good people.
I made a short clip from my show on Friday night. I did a show in Brooklyn at Unruly Collective, and have you performed there?
Yeah, that's a good place.
It's a lot of fun. Guys, you got to look it up. It's in Bushwick. It's called Unruly Collective. They have shows there regularly. And what's cool about it is it's such a New York thing. Like, from being in the art school, it's just a downtown, it's not mainstream, it's under the radar, and you really get like a unique experience. You would not get this anywhere else, and get to hear some amazing people. But I made a joke about, being a Karen, because they had, the DJ there was a young girl. She was 12 years old, and it's 10:30 at night. Like, do you know where your kids are? And the comic before was like really blue, so there was a lot of dirty material. I felt bad. A lot of the comics had dirty material, and I was a little bit concerned, and I felt like you're being a Karen, Sharon. So I made a comment, made a joke like, are you okay? Do you know where your mother is? Are you being held against your will? Like, I will call the police. I'll shut this show down. And I'm a Karen, that's what we do. And so I was making that
Fun
joke.
Of yourself, self-deprecating.
Yeah, exactly. I made a clip of it. This is where I went wrong when I posted it on the internet. I tagged Karens in the Wild and Karens of Instagram and whatever, Karen Gone Wild, whatever. And for no reason, like, I guess all the trolls like
Yeah.
that saw it were like, yes, Karen, blood in the water, I'm going to go after, they're like, you're not funny. So then someone else, I'm sure, like somebody's going to comment under here, agree, no. But they were like, you're not funny, don't harass that little girl.
Oh,
I'm
my
like, you
God.
don't know
What the
the
situation
context
was, yeah.
of what's going on. I'm making fun of
Yeah, you
white
can't
women.
don't feed the trolls. You can't give them any more. This is all the attention we should be giving them. That's it. That's all they get.
They're
Yeah.
gonna get this
And
clip, and then I'm gonna tag them. No, I'm not gonna. I just
Listen.
every hater comment, I just like it. I just hit like, because I guess that's helping the algorithm. Whether they're saying
That's
something
true,
positive
actually.
or negative, it is getting engagement.
They don't understand that they're
So,
getting. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're helping it to be seen by more people because
Yeah.
if the post is not engaging, that wave dies off.
Yeah.
But the more likes or the more comments, the more interaction that it's getting, the more of the wave it's going to ride.
Yeah, I just got a clip where I was proud of it and did well, and I got 13,000 views, and a lot of all the trolls came out and started spewing off, and thank you, because I got only more views. So, and some of them were very like. You could see they like looked at it a few times and they were really trying to be thoughtful. I mean, they weren't funny, but
They were just helping you.
Yeah,
by,
they were
like,
just helping
adding
me.
more views to it.
Yeah, they're adding more views. They're like really thoughtful comments. So thank you so much for all the attention. That's what we need as comics. We need more attention and eyes on us. So I guess they're helping us.
Yeah, I think like I always get this one troll comment from whoever is trolling me. I always get it. It's like Amy Schumer's stupid sister, or like ugly Amy Schumer.
Honestly, a
not
lot-
funny, just like Amy Schumer. Like,
Yeah, women and men both, comics get a lot of hatred, but women really get like, they really get the whole women aren't funny. I mean, in this day and age, you're ready to say that. It's just like, can't they be more creative with their, critiques? Because at this point, females are getting almost, they're getting a lot of attention as comics. We're doing well with the whole HBO and Netflix, and it's really it's getting more equality. So I think of a better critic, something to criticize us.
it's hard because nobody really wants to listen to women. I think men don't, women don't, and
there's still that. But at the same time, equally funny. There's so many out there that are like just killing it, and they're just so talented. If not more, because we have to prove ourselves so much more.
You do have to
Yeah,
work harder.
yeah, so they're
You have
getting
to-
their
you have
fans
to
and audience.
really put it
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Hustle harder,
Yeah.
because you have to deal with these trolls.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, from that experience, and the thing that really scared me too was like, oh my God, I don't want to go viral. And then everyone's like, this racist woman. Like, I have the fear is that I'll be like the Central Park Karen, that gets fired from her job. Like those people like that. I'm
No.
like, for what?
Yeah, you were literally making fun of yourself. It's too much at this point. I
Yeah.
would not worry about it. And the trolls also ignore or thank you again for giving us more viewership.
Thanks for
Yeah.
keeping the
Yes.
the wave going. But did you, when you see it, and my friend's like, this is what you get for reading the comments.
Well,
When
we
you
chose a profession that's very judgmental and tough, but when you're actually doing it, when you're connecting with people around you, it's not, they're just, whoever these trolls are, they're just so wanting to do it themselves. They're very, sad inside and disconnected that they want to somehow connect, and negative way is the only way they know how. So
Yeah. I mean, it made me really feel for what it would be like, let's say if you were Amy Schumer,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
how much hatred and negativity that successful people
Yeah.
really get just from getting a lot of views, getting a lot of attention, getting a lot of success. There's so many critics.
Yeah.
So it's someone, as soon as you come out there, someone's ready.
Yeah,
ready.
it made me realize too, because the joke that I had was so well written and thought out and silly, funny, and it was getting good feedback. That it made me realize that people who are spewing off, they have no idea what's going. They're just there for the hate, and I was already all about not judging anyone or being critical, or even if I don't agree with someone's point of view, really hearing them out. But this made me, like you said, it made me even more aware of like, this is just so not anything to do with anything. It makes no sense what they're saying, and to not give any kind of energy or attention to it.
Yeah.
Just make it as boring as possible. For
What?
them, yeah, because they're in it for the action.
Yeah. I mean,
They're in
that's
it for the
some
adrenaline.
engagement that they're
Yeah.
going to get there from
Yeah,
whatever. So it's not going to be
just boring. They're boring.
I mean, it's not going to be the last time. That
Yeah,
we're
no,
hear
it's gonna
from
get.
these.
Yeah, it's gonna get. But and then they like, oh, it's kind of. I kind of find it like endearing when they like find each other. They're like, oh yeah, you're right. They suck. They were terrible. This dude stinks. That's what I mean. This guy sucks. I'm like, oh, how cute. You finally have somebody. That's.
You have something.
I'm glad I did that for you.
Yeah. I had like one troll, and I guess it was some guy I went on like one date with or something, and I wasn't interested in, and he will just comment like, yeah, don't quit your day job, or like, you need a new profession. I'm like,
Oh my god.
this isn't how I earn a living yet.
Yeah.
So.
And what do you? And you're a freaking broke, jobless loser. Sorry, I don't know what he is, but I just needed to.
Yeah,
spew my-
I think he lives at home.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you should say like, why don't you just get a
He's the
job?
guy with the stick.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this felt good. Got a lot of things out of our system.
It's
Yeah.
so great to
Yeah.
see you.
Yes, you too.
I miss performing with you.
Yeah,
And then
me too,
We're
but-
going to be performing together really soon,
Yes,
right? At
yeah.
the Tiny Cupboard.
Tiny Cupboard.
When is that?
That's this Friday coming up.
Oh, yay.
Yeah,
Thanks
that's a
for
fun
reminding
show.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
At what time?
7:00.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
We hope to see you there.
Catch us there, yeah.
It'll be fun. So, Tiny Cupboard in Bushwick.
In Bushwick. Yeah, very cool venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't been, it's a church.
Yeah, it was throughout the pandemic it became a church because the churches were allowed to have people. So that's how it got around. But it's still, we're